Have you ever watched The Passion of the Christ? If so, you probably remember the scene with the baby staring at Jesus. It's one of the most chilling moments, right? But who exactly is that eerie child with an androgynous face, blending both masculine and feminine features? Does the Bible mention anything about this unsettling figure that continues to pique our curiosity and fear? And what was director Mel Gibson trying to convey with this character? Even after 20 years, the deeper message might still elude us. In today's video, I'll explore 3 theories about the identity of this childlike character carried by Satan in The Passion of the Christ. Stick around until the end, where I'll reveal the true explanation according to the film's creator. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. I'm here to help you understand the Bible in a simple and easy way. Alright, let's get started. The Passion of the Christ, directed by Mel Gibson and starring Jim Caviezel as Jesus of Nazareth, was a box office sensation when it was released in 2004. When it hit theaters, The Passion of the Christ received a lot of criticism for its extremely violent and graphic scenes, which were starkly different from other films about Christ's life that often downplayed his suffering. Besides the 4 Gospels in the New Testament, Mel Gibson also drew inspiration from other books about Christ's life. However, this doesn't make the film any less shocking or realistic. For example, the opening scene shows Jesus praying in Gethsemane when Satan appears to distract him. Shortly after, Jesus crushes the head of a serpent with his heel, referencing Genesis 3:15, where God tells the devil that the seed of the woman will bruise his head, an early prophecy about Jesus' coming. Another striking scene shows Judas Iscariot tormented by demons appearing as children who chase and curse him, calling him damned and cursed forever while spitting on him. Then, a decomposing donkey appears with a rope that Judas uses to take his own life. One more unique moment in the film, not recorded in the Gospels, is during the crucifixion when a criminal mocking Christ is pecked in the eye by a crow. There's also a memory of Jesus as a carpenter building a tall table at the request of a Roman who mocks it. But of all the scenes not found in the Bible, the most striking and terrifying is the one with the baby. Before we delve into the meaning of this strange figure, we need to understand why Mel Gibson chose to portray Satan as an androgynous being. The actress chosen for this role was Rosalinda Celentano. Mel Gibson explained that he wanted Satan to appear seductive and attractive, almost normal but not quite. He said, "Satan is smarter than that and presents evil as something seductive and attractive, almost normal, almost good. But not quite." They shaved her eyebrows and filmed in slow motion so she couldn't blink, giving her an unnatural look. They also dubbed her voice with a man's groan, adding to the eerie effect. As disturbing as Satan's portrayal is, it's a powerful depiction of how evil can appear deceptively good. Now, let's talk about the frightening baby. In the scene, Jesus is being scourged by Roman soldiers while Satan wanders among the crowd, holding a small child who looks sinisterly at Christ. The baby's disturbing expression has haunted many viewers. For this scene, Mel Gibson enlisted Italian actor David Marotta, who, despite not being well known in Hollywood, delivered a memorable performance. There are 3 widely discussed theories about the meaning of this baby's appearance, and I'll present them all before revealing the true explanation according to the film's creator. First theory: Jesus was abandoned by the Father. Some believe that Satan, by appearing with the baby, is mocking Jesus, showing that even he can care for a child while God, the loving Father, has abandoned Jesus to suffer and die. This theory reflects on the temptation Jesus faced in the desert when Satan challenged him to throw himself down, saying God would send angels to save him. Jesus responded by quoting Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 16, "You shall not put the Lord your God to the test." Second theory: the presence of the Antichrist. Another hypothesis is that the woman represents death, while the baby is the Antichrist, mocking Jesus' defeat. They believe that with the crucifixion, Jesus will be defeated, and they will reign forever. This idea connects to baby Jesus in Mary's arms, with the scary baby representing the Antichrist, imitating the divine story and posing as the savior of humanity. Remember, there is no biblical account of Satan walking among the people with a child in his arms, but his spirit was there, influencing people to condemn and mistreat the Son of God. Now, let's get to the true explanation according to the film's creator. Have you ever wondered if the Antichrist is already among us? He's not just watching everything that happens, but also influencing people's lives and the decisions of leaders who might one day help him rise to global power. Another intriguing theory is about how Satan distorts God's creation. Remember that eerie scene in The Passion of the Christ where Satan is carrying a demonic baby during Christ's scourging. This scene is quite different from the others and has a lot to do with Mel Gibson's choice of Satan's physical characteristics. He chose an actress with a symmetrical and beautiful profile, but shaved her eyebrows to give her an almost angelic yet unsettling look. He did something similar with the baby, creating a disturbing image of an androgynous figure holding a 40-year-old baby with hair on its back. It's rare, impactful, and just too much like the Roman soldiers turning Jesus to scourge his chest. So, what's the real message behind this unsettling baby scene? Mel Gibson wanted to illustrate a profound truth, how something inherently good and pure can be twisted and perverted by evil. This isn't just a cinematic moment, it's a reflection of a deeper spiritual battle we all face. Think about it. In our daily lives, the enemy often takes the very talents, gifts, and desires that God has lovingly placed in our hearts and distorts them. He manipulates these blessings to lead us astray, causing us to act in ways that are harmful, humiliating, and ultimately distancing us from Jesus' presence. For instance, consider someone with a natural talent for leadership. This gift, when aligned with God's purpose, can inspire and uplift others. But when twisted by negative influences, it can turn into a tool for manipulation and control. Think about the desire to be loved and accepted. In its purest form, it draws us closer to God and to healthy relationships. Yet, when perverted, it can lead us into toxic situations where we compromise our values. This scene is a stark reminder of the spiritual warfare we encounter. It calls us to be vigilant, to guard our hearts, and to seek God's guidance continually. Let's delve deeper into how this theme plays out in our everyday lives. Imagine a young artist brimming with creativity and passion. This talent is a gift from God, meant to bring beauty and inspiration to the world. However, the enemy can twist this gift, leading the artist down a path of self-doubt and comparison. Instead of creating from a place of joy and authenticity, the artist might start to create for validation, losing sight of their true purpose. Or consider a person with a deep desire to help others. This is a noble and pure intention, but when twisted, it can lead to burnout and resentment. The person might start to feel unappreciated and taken advantage of, forgetting that their worth is not defined by others' recognition but by God's love. These examples highlight how the enemy works subtly, distorting our gifts and desires in ways that seem almost imperceptible at first. It's a gradual process, often starting with a small compromise or a seemingly harmless thought. Over time, these distortions can grow, leading us further away from our true selves and from God. But there's hope. By recognizing these tactics, we can take steps to protect ourselves. One powerful way to do this is through prayer. By staying connected to God, we can seek His guidance and strength to resist the enemy's distortions. We can also surround ourselves with a supportive community that encourages us to use our gifts for good. Another important step is to practice self-awareness. By regularly reflecting on our thoughts and actions, we can identify areas where the enemy might be at work. This can help us to make conscious choices that align with God's purpose for our lives. For example, if you notice that you're starting to feel envious of others' success, take a moment to reflect on why. Are you seeking validation from others instead of finding your worth in God? By addressing these underlying issues, you can prevent the enemy from distorting your desires. It's also helpful to set boundaries. This can mean saying no to opportunities that don't align with your values or taking time to rest and recharge. By setting boundaries, you can protect your gifts and ensure that you're using them in ways that honor God. Ultimately, the key is to stay rooted in God's love and truth. When we do this, we can resist the enemy's distortions and use our gifts and desires as God intended. This doesn't mean that we won't face challenges or temptations, but it does mean that we have the strength and support to overcome them. In conclusion, the unsettling baby scene in Mel Gibson's film serves as a powerful reminder of the spiritual battle we all face. It highlights how the enemy can twist and pervert our gifts and desires, leading us away from God. But by staying connected to God, practicing self-awareness, and setting boundaries, we can protect ourselves and use our gifts for good. This is a journey that requires vigilance and perseverance, but it's one that we don't have to face alone. With God's guidance and the support of a loving community, we can reclaim our gifts and live out our true purpose. If you found this message meaningful, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video.